you just shape me up the other day?
You're like a monkey, Derek.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. A custom Caddy goes topless, a new X-Prize competitor appears, and an Italian supercar gets a facelift. What's up? I'm Derek D, and this is Fastlane Daily. Make sure you stay tuned for more Jay Leno, which I'm sure you're psyched about later in the show.
Fastlane Daily is brought to you by Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms.
Call it good old American ingenuity or the answer to a question nobody asked. Either way, if you want to relive the glory days of the Cadillac convertible, Custom Shop Coach Builders Limited has a hacksaw with your name on it. It's the Cadillac CTS convertible conversion. The drop top makeover doesn't come with a roll bar, but it does come with an acrylic polyester cloth top in your choice of colors, as long as it's tan, gray, blue, brown, or black. Sorry, Joseph. All that for the price of a loaded Toyota Corolla. Nice. With a $10 million prize purse up for grabs, guys in lab coats are working overtime to build a production-ready car that can go 100 miles on a gallon of dinosaur champagne. The latest entry is from Motive Industries. It's the Battery Exchange Hybrid Electric Vehicle, or BEHEV. Oh, behave. Okay. That catchy name refers to a sporty front-wheel drive compact hybrid. The BEHEV uses electric propulsion supported by an internal combustion generator and regenerative braking. It's built on a lightweight chassis of aluminum and steel overlaid with body panels of a plant-based composite. No, Tom, you can't smoke it. Damn it. Yes. All told, the BEHEV weighs only 1,800 pounds. Watch for the BEHEV when the first stage of the X-Prize competition kicks off in September 2009. Yesterday, we reported on the Eversol Thor electric sports car. Regrettably, our math was a few clicks off. The Thor is, more accurately than we reported, 1,026 pounds lighter than the Tesla Roadster. Thanks to AL3XX456 for pointing that out. I wonder what his last name is. Yeah. Yes, it is. We regret the error and have already taken action against the Fastlane Daily Department of Weights and Measures, but never calculate in this town again. Next up, an Italian supercar gets a makeover, followed by more Big Chin Jay Leno. He's our boy right after this. Do you have a story for Fastlane Daily? Well, if you do, send it in to tips@fastlanedaily.com or send us an AIM at Fastlane Daily. For instant gratification, go to feed.fastlanedaily.com and post it there. You'll be a superstar. Love you. Kisses. How old is the Pagani Zonda? Let's just say the Italian supercar is headed up to 2.5 elk years. That's 9 years for humans, and the Zonda hasn't had a major redesign since. But spies recently caught shots of the next generation Pagani as it was undergoing track testing. Word is the next gen model, codenamed I'm Itchy, C9, will get a new AMG-sourced engine, but it won't be a V12. Insiders say it'll be a version of the 5.4-liter supercharged V8 from the Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren. But even if the SLR engine doesn't pan out, the new Pagani will definitely get something from the Mercedes-Benz AMG toolbox. Tom's a toolbox. Next up, it's more Jay Leno right here on Fastlane Daily, starting now.
Welcome to Fastlane Daily. Matt from New York Motor Club here, and we're at Jay Leno's garage. Now, in terms of engineering, I mean, there's a lot of unique things about all these cars, and do you think there's a certain design element to any one particular car that you think is just a really amazing piece of engineering? And let's leave the McLaren out of it, because that's a total crazy
well, I think
package,
the one thing you realize is the more you get into old cars, you realize there's nothing new. Everything they have now, they've always had. In 1913, Peugeot, overhead cam, 4-valve per cylinder. 1913.
Yeah.
I mean, so what it was the metallurgy, or whatever it might have been, people just couldn't afford it, weren't ready for it. They've known about overhead valves since the first day. It's just that flatheads were cheaper, easier to produce, and more reliable, so that's why they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, you drive a Model T and you go, God, why is the frame not? Well, the frame is springy because the roads were bad. I mean, there's a reason for everything. You know, why they have big giant wheels on them? Because, well, you had big giant holes to go
cobblestone streets.
Right, and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of fun to do. But For a technically advanced engine, I would have to go with Duesenberg SJ of 1927. 4 valves per cylinder, twin overhead cam, a little over 7 liters. I mean, that was an amazing motor for 1920. It's still an amazing motor by today's standards.
Yeah.
It made 265 horsepower. It doesn't sound like anything now.
Yeah.
But when the speed
But it was
limit
pretty fast
yeah,
in 1927.
it went 130 miles an hour. When the speed
Yeah.
limit was 45. I mean,
Yeah.
the limit was 45.
Yeah.
You were going 48, you got a ticket. I mean, so, so there's some amazing technology out there. And when you go back and you look at the old stuff, you realize how far we've come, or not really how far we've come, just how we've sort of updated things that have been around for a while.
Do you think are there any cars out there that you'd really want one, but you just can't find one, or is it if you want it, there's a way?
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting cars. Like I say, I wait and you kind of buy the story.
Yeah.
You know, I would not have bought.
You wait for a story and
a
then purchase
67
accordingly.
Yeah, I wouldn't have bought it. I wasn't looking for a Chrysler Imperial.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for one, but I just
You get a lot of people who want to sell you stuff.
that one right there. That's a really interesting story. That is a 1931. That's an Indian 4-cylinder. And what happened was, I got a call from an old man. When he was 17 years old, in the middle of the Depression, he wanted a car, and his father said, well, I'm not going to buy him one. If you want one, build one. So he went to the junkyard, he bought a bunch of Model A parts, and he bought some sheet metal, and he bought an Indian 4-cylinder engine from a motorcycle that had crashed. He built that car, and he and his brother drove from Minnesota to Alaska. They drove it to San Diego, and everywhere they went in the middle of the Depression, the local town would do a story about these 2 boys in the homemade car that would travel around America. And he drove it everywhere.
Made it in his garage?
Yeah, he made the whole thing in his
Crazy.
garage, and then he drove it back home to Minnesota. He became an airline pilot and an engineer, but he always kept the car. And he called me one day. They were taking him to an old folks' home, and he said, I see you on TV, and I know you like cars. And he said, I've got an old car. If I give it to you, he was so afraid that some motorcycle guys would bust it up
Would
to
strip it and make
take the engine.
Yeah.
He said, I'll give it to you if you promise to fix it up. And I said, well, all right. So we went up to Minnesota. I don't know, and we pulled, and it was pretty pretty
bad.
far gone.
Yeah.
But we got it all going again, and now it runs cool. And
It looks brand new.
yeah, and there's a story to it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just kind of a fun story. India never built a 3-cylinder car. India never built a car, but just using homemade parts and the technology of the day, that's what you built in 1931. And I've got his scrapbook where he went into different towns and people feeding
awesome.
them, and they were like heroes. I mean, they drove this thing everywhere. It's hilarious.
That's crazy.
This little tiny car. So I mean, I like that kind of story. It's kind of romantic. It's kind of fun. It's kind of the American spirit. You know, back in the 20s and 30s, cars are what computers are to kids now.
Yeah.
You talk to kids now, every kid is on the computer.
Yeah.
But back in the 20s and 30s, every kid, it was like a fascination. And suddenly all these intuitive engineers were born, guys that never went to school, but could pick up something and go, that's 2 millimeters. And they just had an intricate sense, just
Yeah.
like today we have an intricate sense with computers. We sort of lost the mechanical ability to do things. Now we've picked up on the electronic side, but it's just the era that you live in.
Next time on Fastlane Daily.
Most people have never heard a T-head Mercer or even know what a T-head engine sounds like.
Yeah.
For exclusive test drives of the cars in Jay's collection, check out jaylenosgarage.com.
Well, that wraps up Fastlane Daily for today. Tune in tomorrow when we go like this. Wait, I got it. Oh, shoot!